I agree. And realizing that all their foundation also had to come from a biblical.
You just went Southern for a minute.
I didn't.
All their foundation.
See, I think
I didn't do it. You did it.
squirrel again. Like,
You're the one talking like a Southern belle over there.
did you just call me a Southern belle?
You're from Toledo.
That's down south.
That's not.
That's south. Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. Okay, welcome back, my love.
Yes.
We are on part 2 of these deep, thoughtful, thought-provoking questions,
Really good
which
ones,
is
actually.
good. So the next question is this. It's to walk the audience through our journey, not the highlight reel, but the real road. What did the climb actually look like? And for the people in this room who are still in the middle of theirs, what do you want them to know about staying the course? So I guess that question is probably more about when we did decide that we were going to really break generational curses. We were really going to navigate a new model for what family success looks like from us down. When we really made that shift, you know, what did that journey look like as far as like how to get there?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of mentioned it in the last one, but again, intentionality, right? Like making sure we were diligent with it. Like we had made a commitment that we really felt the family dynamic needed to have a priority in life. It was as important as everyone taking care of their business life or their health goals or whatever it might be. And we felt family dynamic needed to be that important. So we committed to that. We literally were like, okay, if we were getting in front of a board of directors of our business, how prepared would we be for every time we got with them? Every day, how would we show up? Every day, how would we communicate? Every day, how would we interact? What kind of culture would we have? And so I think for us, that's kind of what we did. We decided to be serious about the family dynamic. And so we did. We wrote out goals and we wrote out mission statements and we wrote out standards and non-negotiables. And we literally put them in writing until we could keep them in front of us. Like we talk about all the time. You know, it's like if you don't keep it in front of you, you're going to forget it, right? So, and we made a commitment to each other. Like, hey, if one of us starts getting off track with one of these, how are we going to communicate about this? You know, and all of it referred back to the Bible. You know, everything we set up, the basis was, how would God ask us to do this? And then that's how we even did any disagreements. You know, we went back to the word and was like, what does the word say about this? How does God see this? Not how Greg sees it, not how Jackie sees it. How does God see this? And let's do it his way, because his way is always the right way.
Yeah, because we would even battle a little bit, you know, because you had a certain normal that you learned growing up, and I had certain normals I had learned growing up. And, you know, my situation is a little different than yours because my upbringing had a lot of dysfunctionality where I learned a lot of what not to do. So I was kind of running away from it, trying to not be like it. But, you know, the reality is the more you try to not be like something, the more you still are thinking about that thing and you kind of become like that thing. And so, you know, this stuff is like at a subconscious level. It's very rooted in and you have to do a lot of work to uproot it. But I would say the journey for me, from my end, is a big component is that I because of my upbringing and because of such poor leadership in my life over time that took advantage of me or was manipulative, I didn't really trust people very well, you know? I mean, I still struggle with this, right? But when I needed to see people that had some fruit, not perfect, but I needed to see some people who had some fruit. And I remember we had some people start showing up in our life that actually it appeared they had fruit. And it was the closest thing we had. Meaning fruit for us, meaning that they actually seemed like they had families that were pretty tight and connected, and that they were, that they really did have a genuine respect for each other and love, and that there was a level of authority that was being honored. And there was a lot to it that I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive. And so you and I, what we did is we fought to get around those people. We fought to be able to sit at the tables with those people. And then when we did get a chance to sit at the table with those people, we asked specific questions. We asked, what's your top 3 parenting books, and why? What is your philosophy on disciplining your kids, and why? What are the number one resources for the kids our age that we should be studying right now? Do you have any marriage tips or marriage books, or can I reach out to you from time to time? Can I actually get on your calendar? Can you? And basically we forced our way in to get coached by people.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's a good point. What you just said is, and then what we did though is focus on what they did do well. I mean, if there were areas of their life, like you just said, maybe parenting or marriage or something like that, that we respected and could tell from a distance that it looked good, we wanted to get closer to it. We wanted to see if it was real, right? But then we also were very aware that we're probably not going to take advice from everything from them. There's probably other areas of their life they're not excelling in, you know what I mean? Or they're still growing in, or they're developing. And that was cool with us too. We didn't put the pressure on people to be the everything for us. Because it's kind of unrealistic.
It really is. And what can happen then is, they could be really good in the family department, but maybe they're not good in the health department. And so then you can kind of throw all of their advice away. It's like, we've just always been mature about this. Like, no, that one area, that's where you have fruit. Okay, in the health area, this person really has fruit over there. And, in the finance area, this person has fruit over there. And, so we were, I guess a way to say it is, we were really willing to embrace what someone brings to the table without tripping over what they don't.
I agree. And realizing that all their foundation also had to come from a biblical.
You just went Southern for a minute.
I did.
All their foundation.
See, I think.
I didn't do it. You did.
Squirrel. Again. Like.
You're the one talking like a Southern belle over there.
Did you just call me a Southern belle?
You're from Toledo.
That's down south. Huh?
That's not south.
That's south.
It is south. The greatest school, Michigan. Anyways, yes. What were you saying?
I don't know.
Well, you can't throw me off like that. I got a little sanguine action going on over here. So
we wonder where Drews gets it from.
Oh, anyway, so yes, you were talking about fruit and specifics of only, not grading people for not having all of it together.
Yeah, and just recognizing, it all did need to stem from a biblical perspective again. Like we're very careful on who we listen to because we're not really interested in any of the world perspective on how we raise our family, how we take care of our health, how we do our finances, whatever it might be. And so, again, it had to stem from the truth. And if it didn't, then there were other people to study. There were other people to reach out to. There were other people to seek out. And I just think that's super important in today's world because I think people are getting really confused on who to listen to with all the social media and with all the different things going on in the world. They're like, okay, well, that person doesn't really align with anything, I believe, but hey, good tip on how to, parent. But then they, in no aspect, have a relationship with the Lord that makes sense. And so I just think everyone needs to be very careful because we're not saying to go out there and study every social media under the sun that doesn't align with anything you have going on.
And that's a very real thing. What you're talking about is there's a lot of information. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of things that look healthy out there, but you don't really know what's going on. And
so take the time to research it.
You do. I tell people, you find people that have healthy families, you need to seek them.
Yes.
Because it is not very normal today. Unfortunately, it's just not very normal. And so they kind of stand out like a sore thumb in some ways. They actually get pretty judged. We know because it happens to us quite a bit. And we know, but the reality is though, we're not trying to fit in. We're looking to stand out,
right?
I mean, we talk as Christians all the time about being a light in the dark, about being a city on the hill. Well, it's also going to come with some persecution.
That's right.
So when you start doing things that actually produces results in your family's life, just expect that not everybody's going to be cheering you on, which is sad. But so what? Go for it anyways. And so, so what the real road was for us is that we really pursued people that had fruit. Number two, we had to really be willing to change. I remember having to really be willing to change, and even in the biggest ways, I'm overcoming years of thinking a certain way and things that I even defended, right? That I had to shift. And so that's part of the gritty part of the journey, where some of the stuff that we would do, you and I would battle over it sometimes. But you know what? We would enter the ring and then we knew it was going to be a good match, but we would walk out unified, right?
Yeah, I think too, we learned the difference between what it's like to, take our past and maybe appreciate what our parents did in the season they were in, with the knowledge they had, with the support they had. And just because we didn't apply it to what we knew we needed to do didn't mean we didn't love them. It didn't mean we didn't appreciate it. It didn't mean we didn't want to give them respect for what they did in their season. But it was our turn to step up in a new generation, with two people coming from different backgrounds again, trying to combine the philosophies that we felt comfortable with for our family and that we felt comfortable with helping other families with. We had to be okay with that.
It's good. Okay. Next question. So tell us about your lowest point, a real loss, a real setback. What happened? What did it cost you? How did you get back up? And what did that season teach you that maybe a success in that season never could have?
Okay. Do you want to go first on this one?
I mean, my answer is not real long, but it's a very real answer. And it was just, I remember in the early part of us having kids, we were, I remember I was really strongly pursuing financial success. We were building things and building it hard, and we had been. And now we're coming up on probably a decade of that. We're making more money than we ever had before. We've accomplished a lot of things. And then because of that, it created so much disconnection between you and I. I would say that my parenting up until that point, even with the kids just being pretty little, it was like I was really convinced that my providing at a high level made me a good father. And then the second part would probably be, which was a step further than my parents ever did, was I was very present with the kids when I was with them. I'd be the dad rolling around on the floor with them. I'd be the dad that would be holding them. I'd be taking naps with them. I'd be doing things that nobody ever did for me. So in my own heart, I'm feeling like I'm doing a good job. But at the same time, there was so much that was missing, and it almost cost you and I our marriage, right? And so that was a real low point where you and I were building this life that from the outside looks really good to everybody, but at the same time, you and I were really hurting. And that was, for me, I think the lowest point, not only of parenting, but of us and just of my life in general. And it really made me evaluate. It really made me have the level of gut check is even hard to describe about, I got to retool this here. I got to understand, there's components in my life that I really need to fix and I need to work on, because otherwise I'm going to lose everything that matters the most to me. If you're making $1 million a year, but you end up losing the person you love the most, or, your kids end up being raised by a dad who's around every other weekend, kind of a thing. That's a hard thing. And so that was it for me.
Yeah. I think for me, it was a lot of just making sure I got my emotional, I don't know, but emotionally stable about me. I think for me personally, it was learning how to not kind of get upset or scream about stuff that didn't need to be screamed about. I remember the situation specifically when I forget what happened. Something happened, the kitchen kind of exploded with all kinds of baking stuff or something like that. The kids' stuff was everywhere, and it just had taken me to a whole new level. And I think at the time, Abby must have been 6 or 7 at the time. And I just remember I'm screaming about something oh my gosh, look at this mess. What happened? And I'm doing this almost circus act around the kids, acting crazy, right? And I just remember her grabbing her little hands and going down on the bench that we had. We had a long table that fit all of us, and there was a long bench, and she just put her head down on the bench. She goes, I don't know what to do to have you stop yelling at us. And I just thought, this is this is horrible, Jacquie. Like, your behavior, like, is embarrassing. It's degrading. Like, you are treating your kids like this is not appropriate. This is just ridiculous how you're behaving right now. You would never do this to anybody. What are you doing? Type thing. And I think it was just a reality check for me. You know, I'm not going to be like that. Like, I remember literally walking away from the kids and just needing to cry and kind of get it out and like ask for forgiveness. I had to come back and ask the kids and say, I just really want to ask, will you forgive me? I should have never behaved like that. And it forever changed me, you know, because I just kind of came from, you know, a background where it's like you just kind of screamed, run around the house, you know, like, I don't know. You know what I mean? When things got a little crazy. And I never wanted that again for our family. So I remember from then on, it was one of those things that when I felt like I was going to kind of need a break because I was going to start losing it a little bit, I'd just go up to my room and take 5 minutes to like breeze through and come down and be like, okay, so here's how we got to fix this. This isn't okay. And that was like a life change for me.
That's really good. It's a tough one still, isn't it?
Oh my gosh. It still gets me emotional watching her, thinking about her.
But you know what? We live and we learn, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we win, sometimes we learn.
Yeah.
So, and we're still doing it.
Here we are.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.